Patriots Leonard Taylor. Field goal block save season. Drops wild, no Diddy. Leonard Taylor didn't just shut down a field goal, he lit up the timeline, too, with a wild and controversial post-game media sesh. The Patriots' defensive lineman came up huge when it mattered most in Sunday's AFC Championship, getting his hand on a potential game-tying kick with 4:46 to play and sealing New England's return to the Super Bowl. Chaos erupted on the field and in the stadium after the incredible play, and the excitement followed into the Pats' locker room. Taylor, speaking to reporters after the 10-7 win over the Denver Broncos, explained the block and casually dropped the now viral line. "I jumped up and got a taste of the ball. No Diddy," he quipped. What makes it even crazier? Taylor wasn't supposed to be here. He was undrafted in 2024 and cut by the Jets earlier in the year after a 0-6 start. On Sunday, he was limited to just 16 defensive snaps and 4 more on special teams. He made them count, saving the Patriots' season with one hand. The Pats will face the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 60 on February 8th. Rematch more than a decade in the making after New England took home the title in 2015. One block. 2 words. Onto the NFL's biggest stage. One block, one moment, one wild line. How Leonard Taylor turned a season into a legend. Football seasons usually don't hinge on a single heartbeat. They're built on months of grind, collisions, meetings, flights, and bruises that never fully heal. But every once in a while, a season narrows itself down to one instant. A foot swinging, a hand rising, a breath held by millions. For the New England Patriots, that instant arrived with 4:46 left in the AFC Championship. Denver lined up for a field goal. Tie the game. Flip momentum. Maybe flip history. Leonard Taylor had other plans. The snap came back clean. The kick was on its way. And then, chaos. Taylor exploded off the line, timing it like a man who had been waiting his whole life for this exact second. His hand met leather, redirecting destiny with a sharp thwack that echoed through the stadium. The ball fluttered off course, the Broncos' hopes fluttering right along with it. 10-7 stayed on the board. Season saved. Super Bowl punched. And just like that, a player most fans barely knew became impossible to forget. The stadium erupted. Teammates swarmed. Coaches screamed. Somewhere in the upper decks, a grown adult probably hugged a stranger and cried a little. Football does that. But what happened next is what turned a great play into a cultural moment. Because Leonard Taylor didn't stop making noise once the whistle blew. In the locker room, surrounded by reporters and still buzzing with adrenaline, Taylor broke down the play in simple terms. Jumped, reached, connected. Then he smiled, shrugged, and dropped the line that instantly hijacked the internet. "I jumped up and got a taste of the ball, no Diddy." Just like that, the timeline exploded. Clips went viral. Captions multiplied. Group chats lit up. Some laughed, some gasped, some had to rewind to make sure they heard it right. It was unfiltered, unexpected, and very Leonard Taylor. A reminder that sports aren't just about precision and professionalism, but personality, spontaneity, and moments you can't script. And maybe that's what made it perfect. Because Leonard Taylor himself wasn't supposed to be part of the script at all. Undrafted in 2024. Overlooked. Passed on. Cut by the Jets earlier this season after a 0-6 start that left his NFL future hanging by a thread. For a while, he was just another name cycling through practice squads and what-if conversations. On Sunday, he played just 16 defensive snaps. For more on special teams. 20 chances to matter. One chance to change everything. And when it came, he didn't hesitate. That's the quiet truth behind the block. It wasn't luck. It was readiness. It was a player who knew that when your opportunities are limited, your urgency has to be limitless. Taylor didn't need a full game. He didn't need a full season. He needed one jump, timed perfectly. One hand, placed exactly right. The Patriots didn't win pretty. They didn't overwhelm. They survived. And in New England, survival has always been a kind of art form. Defense, discipline, and the occasional moment of absurd brilliance that only football can produce. Now, The Pats are headed to Super Bowl 60, where they'll face the Seattle Seahawks on February 8th. Rematch more than a decade in the making, a callback to the franchise's modern mythology. History is waiting again. Narratives are lining up. The stage couldn't be bigger. And somewhere in all of it stands Leonard Taylor. Once cut, once counted out, now forever etched into Patriots lore. One block. 2 words. A season rescued by a hand, a heartbeat, and a moment that reminded everyone why we watch. Because sometimes football isn't about the stars you expect. It's about the ones who rise when the ball is in the air, no Diddy, and refuse to let it pass.